Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you, that I am namaskaritya, Deving Saraswati Vyasa, before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is really means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance to the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, supremest human being, and unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, National Parameshwara Adreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Tamashloke, Bhakti Rabhavati Naishtaki, by regular attendance in classes in Bhagavatam, by rendering of service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Mokum karoti vachalam, vandam vangaiti girim, yat kripatadam vande, Shri Guru Dinadharinam. I offer my respectful obeisance unto my spiritual master, the deliverer of the fallen souls. His mercy turns the dumb into eloquent speakers and enables the lame to cross mountains. Haribol. So good to be back here, everyone. And today we are looking at the Bhagavatam, I guess. Right now I'm not looking at it because it hasn't been presented here. So what to do? Yeah, really, what to do? Yes. What to do? But go back to Godhead. Or to Peanut Boulevard. All right. So what are we doing here now? How's everyone doing? Wonderful. Canto 10. Chapter 26. 26. Oh, wonderful Krishna. Text. Reading from 15 to 26. Please come. 15 to 26. All right, so here we go. Everyone together? I'm just waiting. Shiyadvaita, we're waiting. Shiyadvaita, Gadadham. We're doing the Advaita program. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. A 1, 2, 3. Are you nervous? This year, this year, this year. What a musical. Okay, text number. Okay, text number 15. Chapter is entitled Wonderful Krishna. Everyone ready? Nanda Maharaj replied, "O coward men, just hear my words. I'm all alone in this." We had 15 and flew off somewhere. Everyone, a one, a two, a one, two, three. There's no. Nanda Maharaj replied, "O coward men, just hear my words and let all your doubts concerning my son be gone. Some time ago, Garga Muni spoke to me as follows about this boy. Muni had said, 'Your son Krishna appears as an incarnation every millennium. In the past, he assumed three different colors, white, red, and yellow. And now he has appeared in a blackish color. But for many reasons, this beautiful son of yours sometimes appeared previously son of Vasudeva. Therefore, those who are learned sometimes call this child Vasudeva. For this son of yours, there are many forms and names for his transcendental qualities and activities. They are known to me, but people in general do not understand them. To increase the transcendental bliss of the coward men of Gokula, this child will always act auspiciously for you, and by his grace only you will surpass all difficulties. Onanda Maharaj, as recorded in history, when there was an irregular, incapable government, and there having been dethroned, when honest people are being harassed, disturbed by thieves, this child appeared in order to curb the roads, to protect the people, enable them to flourish. Demons cannot harm the demigods, who always have Lord Vishnu on their side. Similarly, any person or group attached to all auspicious Krishna cannot be defeated by enemies. Therefore, Nanda Maharaj, this child appears as good as Narayan. His transcendental qualities, opulence, name, fame, and influence, exactly like Narayan. Thus, you should not be astonished by his activities. Nanda Maharaj continued, after Garga Rishi spoke these words to me and returned home, I began to consider that Krishna keeps us free from trouble. It's actually an expansion of Lord Narayan. Shukadeva Goswami continued, having heard Nanda Maharaj relate the statements of Garga Muni, the residents of Vrindavan became enlivened. Their perplexity was gone, and they worshipped Nanda and Lord Krishna with great respect. Indra became angry when his sacrifice was disrupted, and thus he caused rain and hail to fall on Gokul, accompanied by lightning and powerful winds, all of which brought great suffering to the cowards, animals, and women there. When Lord Krishna, who is by nature always compassionate, vision of those who have him as their shelter, he smiled broadly on the hill with one hand, just as a small child picks up a mushroom to play with it. And this may he, Govinda, Lord of the cause and the destroyer, Indra's false pride, be pleased with us. Hare Krishna. Jai. And that is verse 25. You said verse till 26. It's written here, but it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Okay. So we do 21. All right. Really? There's not much there. Anyways, okay. Ya este ya etasmin mahabhage vriting kurvanti manava Narayo Bibhavantitan Vishnu Pakshan Ivasura.
Yaitasmin Mahabhage. Pritam Kurvanti Manva. Pritam Kurvanti Manva. Narayo Bhivavante. Narayo Bhivavante. Vishnu Pakshan Ivasura. Vishnu Pakshan
Vasura. Sura. Not, it's no, that's okay. It's a long A there. Okay, who's next?
Yaitasmin Mahabhage.
Ye itasmin mahabhage
Pritim Kurvanti Manava.
imanava arayano pibavanchitam
Vishnu Pakshan Vasura.
Vishnu Paksha Ivasura.
Yaitasmin Mahabhage.
Ye itasmin mahabhage
Pritim Kurvanti Manava.
idam kurvanti manava
Narayo Vivavantintan.
narayo pibavanchitam
Vishnu Pakshan Vasura.
Vishnu Paksha Ivasura. Yea, those persons who etasmin unto this child Mahabhage, most auspicious, Pritim, affection, Kurvanti, execute, Manava, such persons, Na, not, Areyaha, their enemies, Abhibhavanti, to overcome, Etan, those who are attached to Krishna, Vishnu Pakshan, the demigods, always have Lord Vishnu on their side. Eva, like Asura, the demons. Translation: demons cannot harm the demigods. Always have Lord Vishnu on their side. Similarly, any person or group attached to all auspicious Krishna cannot be defeated by the enemy. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's devotees. Srila Prabhupada has especially indicated in this connection that just as Lord Krishna's associates could not be defeated by specifically Kamsa, so is modern day devotees will not be defeated by their demonic opponents, nor will the Lord's devotees be defeated by the internal enemies, the lusty, materialistic senses. Hare Krishna. Chai Nama Om Vishwadaya Vishwadaya Vitale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Pramani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Ivashesha Sanyamati Paschatya Harini. Hare Krishna. The theme or the topic of this segment of the Bhagavatam is about the Lord's appearance. And so the Lord appears and the Lord disappears. Srila Prabhupada explained in a very famous class, he said there's no difference between the two. The Lord's coming and the Lord's going. The thing to actually put your finger on is that Krishna's just always there. He may appear to come, he may appear to go, but he's always just there. Much like the sun. The sun has come up over the horizon on the eastern side, right? And then after a few hours, the sun moves over to the southerly direction. It'll end up on the west. But sometimes you don't see it because of the clouds, but the sun is there. And even in the nighttime, when the sun seems to dodge us, we know the sun is there on the other side of the world. Like while I was gone for the last 2 weeks, it's like meetings, calls, trying to deal with like the different time zone changes. Okay, and meeting with the devotees in Red Deer. Okay, that's 2 hours difference from here, but it's also 6 hour difference from South Africa, and then later on it's 2 hour difference from Mauritius. I was going nuts. But the point is, we know that somebody's there on the other side of the world, and someone's doing something. In the same way, the Lord is coming and He's going. In the Bhagavad Gita, we also understand that's our nature to come and go. Buddha grama evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. You can look that one up. I mean, it's a good one. Bhutva granam. But Buddha grama evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. And it's just talking about the living entities that are coming and going, being manifest in this world because of the Lord's exhalation. And then when the Lord inhales, then they come back into his womb, and the Father's womb. It's the only time where a man is pregnant is God. God's pregnant with all of us. And then after he gives birth, and then we go through all kinds of interesting experiences and adventures, and then he pulls us back in again. And I love the example of the spider. Oh, I love it. I'm very much liking it. The spider is releases from his little body. He puts out this incredible string, and it's just not a string. Sometimes they come right down, and you're talking to someone, and then the spider comes between the two of you. You ever had that? Hey, this is none of your business. Go back. And he goes up. But oftentimes they make this amazing array, a web site. That's the real website, by the way. And it's really pretty when there's condensation in the morning, right? With the full moon or something, then it collects all these little beads of water, and it's like an amazing tapestry. It's an amazing piece of artwork. That's what a spider does. But then the spider will also, he's got purposes for it. It's a little bit on the sticky side. Have you ever walked through the forest in the morning and then suddenly you just have to take it all up? It's not very nice. But then the spider can, just take it back in, a little bit like a yo-yo. Have you ever done, what a yo-yo is? You release it and then it comes, or it's a little bit like a boomerang, and it comes back. Or it's a little bit like the example is given in the Bhagavatam of a child who's got his box and he's got all his toys in there. And then he pulls out everything. Like everything has to be out, not just one item, and be happy with that. It's got the truck, little rubber duck, whatever else, the teddy bear, everything. The whole thing has to come out. And when the child is cognizant enough, the parent was like, "Okay, clean up." So that means you have to put it all back in the box again. Be a good boy, put it all back in. And so it's like that. Things come and go. And another nice example that is given by one of our favorite demons of all times, Hiranyakashipu. Jai ho. Okay. And he says that people come and go. And he's talking about his brother's death. They come and go. They may not meet again. And it's a little bit like, you get this vegetation in the ocean, and it gets a little entangled. And then because the currents get a little strong, they may separate and they may never meet again because the world is vast. Or like some people meet in a hotel. This is given. People meet in a hotel and they go to the bar and, oh, what's up? Okay. And then they meet and they may never meet again. They just it's a short encounter, brief encounter, and then it's gone. God, dirt off. And that's the way it is. I know some people, they look for the soulmate. One of our devotees in Calgary, he's a brilliant writer. He wrote, he's on his third book. One's called The Yoga Zapper, and one was about soulmating. And it opens up very interesting. It's in an airport, and again, somebody's sitting on the seats waiting, for their the call to be made over the loudspeaker, and at the gate, and then somebody is walking by, and it's a member of the opposite sex. So I can't remember if she's sitting or he's sitting and the other one's walking by, and they walk by. Uh, there's a connection, and it could be a soulmate. So that's the whole book unfolds to tell about this, the story and how they came together. And the twist at the end is so interesting. It's so, and he pulls out the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. His name's Hari Mohan, and I got to know him. He was in Montreal, then he moved to Calgary. But it's a brilliant book, and he's trying to turn it into a movie. That would be interesting, right? Soul mating. But we shouldn't get so caught up in soul mating. Like we just finished doing the drama in Durban, South Africa, of the story of Shiva and how he had issues with his father-in-law, Daksha. It wasn't very nice. It's in the fourth canto. You can read about it. And so in the end, Daksha was not very nice, not only to Shiva, but also to his daughter, who came to participate in a big sacrifice at his home, which is a mansion, of course, all that. He's a big dude. And so she decided to give up herself because she couldn't handle being a part of him. So she just got totally disgusted with her father, you know. She said, because he disowned her pretty much. She said, then I'll disown you too. And she lit up her Agni from within, and she gave up her body. Now, this story is so compelling. We had people at the edge of their seats, and they opened up the walls to the tent because there's like hundreds of chairs laid out, and they opened up the walls so everybody could see this, and they're totally absorbed. There's the scene where Shiva's carrying the burnt body of Sati, and he's dancing with her. Now that is captivating. And it was pin drop silence. And so the reason why I bring up this is that it's a story of soulmates. So she passed away, and then she came to be reunited with him as Mena, the daughter of the Himalayas. And so they were connected again. So it's a story where everyone lives happily ever after. Kind of like one of those things, the way life should be, right? By the way, when we go through this process of being unwound and being wound up, we should be getting to the point where we'll be liberated again. We'll be experiencing the life of a truly detached soul, someone who's experienced nirvana or moksha. That's where we want to be. We want to be free from samsara, the cycle of birth and death. That's our position. Our job is to go back to God. And Prabhupada keeps saying back, go back to where you belong. And that's sometimes people give a curse. Why don't you go back to where you belong? And I said, well, yeah, I belong to the spiritual world. Thanks a lot. Thanks for blessing me. This is our whole purpose here in this life. You've got one life, Bruce, one life, whether you're in Montreal or Toronto. You got one life, and that life is to cultivate your Krishna consciousness, develop it. You've got a short amount of time, like Dhruva Maharaj. It was like, what do they call those little sand things, the clocks? What do they call it? Hourglass, yeah. It was, okay, like the Wicked Witch of the West. I'll give me those slippers or else blah, blah, blah. You know the story? Give me those slippers. So we have limited time, and it's in this life. So make good with it. There's no reason why we can't become Krishna conscious and do it as best we can. There's no reason. Because wherever there's something lacking, Krishna agrees to fill in, he'll fill in the gaps. But don't take advantage of that policy. Some of our Christian friends, they say, Just accept Jesus in your heart and everything will be okay. And in the meantime, they're going and like, getting drunk or this or that. You just have to accept Jesus. And, no, there's something that goes along with it. Your end of the deal is to be dharmic, at least. Your end of the deal is to surrender, to render. You like that word, render? I do. I learned about it when by reading Prabhupada's books, Render. He never said render, surrender, but I thought it's very poetical. Our job is to cultivate. Another example, cultivate. I love that word that Prabhupada used. Cultivate, you know what that means? Cultivating or plowing. When the farmer takes his tractor out there, or let's say in the old style, you have the plow in there, and Balaram was a plowman. You turn the dirt. And if you want to do some serious gardening, you have to turn the soil. You have to loosen it up. And when you do loosen it up, there's these little wiggly things called earthworms that might show up. And that's what is required. You have to turn things around. You have to kind of massage almost. Somebody asked me, one Lithuanian boy there, he was in he was with us in Mauritius, where I just spent the last week. And he said, is there some connection between us and the earth? And I said, well, one thing to consider is that we should be walking. When you walk, you are massaging Mother Earth, right? Isn't that's why we should walk? Walk the soil, walk the earth, or cultivate your Krishna consciousness, meaning let's new leaf on life, new lease. A new lease if you're renting a place or just finishing the lease, there's a new lease coming on now. And so that's what it's all about. Some of you are going through this also, visa, this visa, that visa, working towards your, what do they call it, PR? It used to mean public relations. Reminds me of a line in one movie that I used to watch. And it said, so you're working with public relations. It sounds like something pretty dirty to me. So public relations really means permanent residency, but let's consider that. That's also a misnomer. Who's going to stay here forever? Right? Who's going to stay here forever? Whether it's Canada or the UK or where, no one's going to stay here permanently on this planet. We might be kicked off and go to another planet, and we might go to another universe. Who's to say? We don't know. Actually, in some degree, it's for us to say, meaning we have to plan our own destiny. And destiny is established by your activity, your karma, your activities. So we need to make the best use of a bad bargain. Some of us are moving around. I'm a SWAMI. SWAMI means that you're like a rolling stone and you collect no moss. So some of us are, let's say, encouraged to move around. That's what you're moving around. Then you're doing demonstrating. Okay, we're being asked to move by our assignment, and we're being relocated, which companies do that too all the time now. You can't stay put in one place. They move you around a lot, even against your will. Like we just got settled here, and like, some of the people that come to Krishna consciousness are the ones that their father was with the army and said, well, what was life like when you grew up? Well, I went to different schools, I had different friends. And so, well, why is that? Because my father was with the army and I had to go where he went, and I had to go to different schools. There's some advantage to that. You learn detachment really fast. So that's one point that is to be established. When you're a grasta, normally you stay in one place, and that's usually advantageous for kids, but some don't have that advantage. So we're encouraged to move on. You know, you don't ever stay in one apartment, you move on, or one house. It's just like you never stay in one place. We're constantly on the move. We're all nomads. That's what we are. And sometimes it works at a new frontier. Oh, let's start fresh, you know, and it's sometimes good. I like a good challenge. Like any devotees that I've met who live in either New York City or in Kolkata or Delhi, you know, any of these kind of places where the traffic is everywhere, people are all over you. And I think, wow, you're going to be Krishna conscious. You're going to go back to God in one life because it's so crammed and so the environment is so intense, you know. But some devotees do that and they get very Krishna conscious, you know? Yeah. So it's good to take up new challenges. It's fresh. I know that as brahmacharis, you know, I usually like the brahmacharis. I've found that get them to travel, get them moving. They can have a home temple, but get them and let's see the country. You know, is the best thing for young guys, especially. For women, it's less. It's not always so safe, but for guys, go out there and see the world, see it, and experience it. Everywhere there's a new, around the block, there's something new. Around the bend, there's around the mountain, there's a new scenery, a new setting. Now, if you've ever been like I have, you notice a little bit more maybe when you're walking, but let's say we're going to go to Winnipeg. Okay, we are going to go take a trip, which some of us almost did that last year. So you leave Toronto, and then you get into what's called the Shield. It starts around Barrie, and you get this rock. They call it the oldest rock in the world, lakes everywhere, and the vegetation changes, right? It becomes boreal forest. And you go and you make your way to Winnipeg. It's a mix of boreal and deciduous trees. Then when you get to Sault Ste. Marie, it becomes more boreal forest. It changes. You can see all these white birch and all it is. It's quite wonderful to see the transitions. Even when you go east of Toronto, you know you're leaving what's called the Carolinian Forest area, and suddenly you see cedar trees everywhere. You look next time when you go to Montreal or up to Ottawa, you'll see cedar trees start coming up, not southwest of here. So you see these gradual changes. Then you get closer to Winnipeg, and the what you call the shield stops, the rock, and it just becomes really flat. But lots of trees, especially Manitoba maple. What else? And you keep going, and then you continue. And let's go to Regina. Okay, it's just super flat, like super flat and beautiful. And then you get to Calgary, and then you hit the Rockies. They're just, it's not even gradual. It just shoots up like that. So it's nice to see all those changes, the adventure. And Krishna says, I am adventure. So those who are moving around within the ISKCON turf, they get the pleasure of being in new territory and let's say go for an adventure, something new. They might even learn a different language. Haribol. Or pick up on a few words here and there, and it enriches your life when you travel like that. Yeah. So some of you we've been working on dramas together. You know what's nice about that? You stop being Munil and you start to be like Kamsa or whatever. You're Hiranyakashipu, right? You no longer who you think you are, Nityananda. You're Hiranyakashipu. And what part did you play? You're Narsingha. Okay. And yeah, you've been on a couple of dramas, right? So you get to be somebody else. It's therapeutic. It's actually therapeutic to be, stop, wherever your shoes are, that's where the old you is. Now you enter into the drama practice where you're somebody else. So it's good. Change is good. Just like people who change their clothes, it's good. People who don't change their clothes, I keep them away. Yeah, so change is good. Some people have a problem with change. We sometimes have senior devotees, they don't want to see change. And that complaint comes to me sometimes in my travels. Here in our mandir, we have all this youth, we've got all this energy, and they want to do more, but we're perceived as you're just a bunch of kids. That's frankly what's going on. And I hope that that will not be the case for some of you when you get to be 60, whatever years old. So who are these kids coming up here with their strange ideas and their innovations and their creativity? We can't have that. This is not parampara. It's not bona fide. Well, we never change the product. The product is, who, and the packaging changes. You can package them different. Like when you look at some of the AI renderings of Shiva, which we have been having to do, it's a very, like masculine kind of Shiva as opposed to the usual feminine kind of Shiva or feminine Krishna. It's nice to see something different. And that's only because of it's a younger generation that's got the idea, well, this is the look that we want or we deserve or like that. But you're not changing the product, right? You're just changing the packaging. So I remember having a real nice discussion with one godbrother who passed away, Karnamrita. He was like a counselor type fellow from the Carolinas. And we were just talking about some devotees there opposed to book changes, apparent book changes on the Bhagavad Gita. And they were selling these very old copies from 1973 or something like that. And yeah, and when you look at it, who's going to want those big colossal things? And where there's some grammatical errors and things like that, it just makes us look like irrelevant. You have to be relevant. That's an important thing for us to grasp. Be relevant. And for those who are going to Montreal, to be relevant means you have to make some kind of an effort to speak French. I wrote in my blog here, and I'll tell you, it's relatable. So I was in Paris, so that Charles de Gaulle. I sometimes pick up a nice sandwich to address hunger. I went to a food stall, I forgot the name of it, and simply wanted to ask about veg sandwich options, no eggs, meat, etc. The young male attendant whom I approached to ask that easy question is after I said bonjour, all he said, but just wait 2 minutes. What do you think about that? 2 minutes? A little bit too long, right? I just thought he was rude. He was busy, but I thought 2 minutes is too much. I waited those 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes became 4 minutes. And from a long glance, I raised my eyebrows to indicate I'm still here. Well, he just kept busy. I left and went to another canteen where there were sandwiches. But they were on display. And I went to the cashier. This was a girl this time. I said, "Would there be any eggs in this bread by chance?" He said, first of all, I said, bonjour. And I said, "Were there any eggs in this bread, by the way?" "I don't know." And that was it. So I was wondering, I did say bonjour. I was trying to be relevant. So I wasn't very happy about that treatment. And so we have to be relevant. And then I got into the plane, and right next to me, there was no overhead space. So I went over on this side, but there was one guy or gal, probably a guy, because it was a big backpack, and it took the whole space. And I didn't want to move it, in case the owner would be upset. So excuse me, the flight attendant, Can you help me? Oh, just go to the back, go to the back, go to the back. Well, if she had any brains, she would have just come and fixed it herself because that's what they're supposed to do, right? So I was just looking at the service quality, and this is what I think we need to do every day in our life, whether in Quebec or Ontario. You have to look at your service quality. Am I up to the mark? Am I doing it nicely? Am I representing Prabhupada? Or am I representing my ignorant self? Am I an idiot? And is it coming across? Or am I doing something that is going to be representative of the spiritual world, right? So I guess that's what it boils down to. Krishna gives us new opportunities when you're on the street with books. It's always a different person. It's never the same response. It's always going to be a kind of an adventure. Like book distribution is really an adventure. And in Montreal, the devotees, I don't know if they still do it, for some years, they've been going to the metro and doing kirtan. They're still there. Yay, champions. Wow. And people come and they walk by, and some people, oh, they go, there's all kinds of different reactions. And people just put some coins in the little box. And it's really quite nice that they have that facility. But, go for the adventure. I'm just saying that about life itself. Uh, we are an evangelical movement. We're not like Hindu temples where they just ring a bell. Ding, 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 ding. And by the way, Vishesh, are you here? Did you? Oh, there you are. You can keep the bell going. Ding, 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 ding is what you're supposed to do, even when you water. Ding, ding, ding. It's all calling Krishna, making him happy. Ding, 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 ding. Even when you're doing these other things, that you can do things at one time, too, right? Good. I've seen you dance, and yes. Um, so have fun. Go for the adventure, and there will always be new opportunities. If you want to work at a assembly line and just do the same thing, pull the lever, step on the pedal, pick up the box, one of the conveyor, pull the lever, step on the pedal, pick up the box, pull the lever, step on the back, pull the lever. So you can actually have that kind of a life routine, and some people like that. I'm not saying it's bad. You need that kind of person, but a lot of us like adventure, especially when you're young. When you get older, you say everything has to be set. You want a routine. You don't want too many surprises. The whatever fire is there, the pitta. When you're young, it can be usefully engaged in Krishna's service, but then the fire goes down, and then I guess you get a little more chilled, and then you're less apt to go for changes. So while you have the chance to go for wonder, and this is called wonderful Krishna. Krishna's wonderful. He never does the same thing 2 days in a row. All right, every chapter, there's something new. And Narada Muni saw that as well. I'll finish soon. Narada Muni went to each house in Dwarka and saw Krishna's doing something different in each place. Wow. He doesn't do what the yogis do, where they expand themselves. It's always a unique experience. Unique. By the way, unique is a French word. So be unique. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I want to just honor the time frame. Bruce, any thoughts, comments? Okay. Yes, we're.
Thank you so much. One of my fears growing up, away from doing getting a job, settling down, is that life may become monotonous. So how do I resolve that?
It can be monotonous, but not if you apply Krishna consciousness. Then you have a zest for life. Every day is new. It's fresh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You come in there, you go to the same old desk, or whatever, talking to the same people. Hi, they go, Joe, whatever. Not if you have Krishna inside of you, and you're always thinking in your mind, creatively, what else can I do for Krishna? I think that some people like that, some people don't. Yeah. So some people are accountants. You know what I mean? Numbers. And then you get those other people who are a little bit wilder, got these wild and wonderful ideas, and a little more creative. There's two kinds of people. I knew one guy, he was an accountant, and he walked, actually he hitchhiked across Canada with his son. What accountant hitchhikes across Canada? But he was unique. Man, that word was really unique. When Canada was about to break apart in 1995, our prime minister at the time, Chrétien, maybe Carlos Cinder, I think you were around. He said, um, he said, let us, let us stamp it. Let us let it be known that Quebec, French Canada is unique. We want to give it that status just to satisfy the folks over there. Anyways, Hare Krishna. Let's be unique in our own different way. And Hare Krishna. But thank you, Prabhu. Thanks. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Because let's say if the landscape is flat, looks, oh, this is so dull, monotonous. People say, what about when you went through Regina or Saskatchewan? Was it boring? No, no way, Jose. You have all these exotic birds coming at you. You've got the sunrise and the sunset. And then you've got this canola, all this yellow, and against the blue sky, the Krishna's skin, Krishna's dhoti. You have to have a Krishna vision, for flatness or for curves. Yeah.
Usually people become very realistic, where
They're which?
they become realistic as in like there's
Uh,
a point where you can that kind of program.
Oh, yes.
Because especially
Existential
yeah,
kind of people. Yeah, yeah, that's true. They complain, everything's flat in their eyes.
I told one of my friends about, that this body it's temporary and eventually everything's becoming about everything. And then it's like, what's the point of all of this? Remember, why should I be doing all of this if I eventually have to give all of this up?
Yeah, that's right. But you have to change your mindset. You have to change the internal. It's true. When you think about it, we're all going to end up in the ground. Why do anything? Why eat? Why not just throw yourself off the cliff and give yourself up? Why not? But there's something gnawing inside, saying, keep going, keep going. There's an adventure. There's something new, fresh. It's around the corner. There's always another beautiful opportunity, a new door that you can open. By the way, one of our managers can maybe fix this thing because one day the water's going to spill on the Bhagavatam. Every day it's the same thing. Okay. Yes, we should.
We're talking about living in a spirit of adventure, being proactive. Sometimes the same qualities, and I've been told that I'm restless, I'm not active. And how do you distinguish?
You're restless and not active.
Which I don't agree to, but what I'm saying is,
How could that be? You're restless means you're active.
yeah, but how do you differentiate between, let's say, someone who is calm or who is dull?
Uh-huh.
Or between someone who is being restless instead of.
Well, somebody who's calm and has shanti, there's happiness, there's contentment, there's ananda. But if somebody's just dull, tamagun, and they're not doing it, not lifting a finger, you want me to lift my finger? I don't really feel like it. Then there's no contentment within, so there can't be any contentment outside. So if you got a fever, a fire inside of you, take advantage of it. Just direct it to Krishna. That'll be okay. Do not, let's say, be taken by the temptations of the mind and Maya. The two M's. Yes, Boo.
Thank you for the class, Maharaj. I really like the point of when you said cultivating Krishna consciousness, like a farmer cultivates land.
Turn the soil.
Yes. Yeah.
Jai ho. Thank you. You know, like gardening it's a serious business and it's actually like a hobby. It's the fastest growing hobby in, at least in North America, especially for older folks or people that, just have a little extra time in their hands. There's nothing more beautiful than turning the soil, smelling the earth, and knowing that you're about to give birth to, because you're planting something. You know? It's an exciting time. I'm sure that Dwarkanath is pretty happy. He did some, they did some cultivation, and now they got a baby boy. Right? Can't wait to see the little guy, little rascal. So you have to turn over things, like some of you are going to Montreal. What happened last year, some months back? They're redoing the road there on Pigneuf Boulevard, and there was this mound in front of the temple. I always thought that's a stupid thing. It's just totally in the way. You can't do anything with it. Now there's possibilities because I think they did it for free. They just moved the dirt, and now there's possibilities for a parking area space, or possibilities for a restaurant, like that. Just because you turn some dirt. We had the idea that balcony up there, it's just like, what are you going to do? It's some dead space. Well, you flatten it, now you can do things. Haribol. By the way, I need a reminder from you. I need to call my friend there in Windsor, Tom. Tom, it's really important. Tom, I'm in Windsor. Bruce, thank you. Anything else? So we're going to miss you guys. There isn't a hanky that's thick enough for long enough. But, we're just neighbors. We're just down the road. It's called 401. And then it becomes Highway 20 and 40 when you get to the Quebec border. That's always a political thing. But you'll have a good time. And please don't hesitate to contact us. We'll visit you, you visit us. Scratch backs. Is that okay? I scratch my back, you scratch your back. I scratch your back, you scratch. I can scratch my back too, but it's always balanced. So it'll be fun. It'll be so exciting. Yeah. And both of you are going with this enthusiasm, which is what earns you a place in Krishna's world. If you have eagerness, if you have enthusiasm, that's the price you pay for going back to Godhead. So, who would have thought that just 3-4 years ago, this cute little guy here with the curly hair, would be going this one, putting on saffron, putting on tilak, showing up once in a while for the RT. Will now be doing a heroic thing. Okay, by the way, be very strict with your sadhana. Okay, that's really important. So I don't know what else to say. There's going to be big hugs, but I'm not really good for goodbyes because there isn't a goodbye. We're going to see you just regularly, right? We'll see you, well, at least in July. Oh, Vaishnava Sangha. Vaishnava Sangha, and then there's going to be July the 1st, Ottawa. You guys better be there, or else. And then Toronto, Montreal Rath Yatra, we're going to see each other. Toronto Rath Yatra, and then we're going to go Thunder Bay again. Maybe. No, what's his name wants some of you guys to go. He wants some of us to go there again. We can see baby bears in the wild.
Yeah. We can also berries.
Big berries.
Picking berries.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Check out.